But we observe an omission to that commission. We observe that the church only focuses on the Muslim Ummah, that is the global Muslim community. The church only concentrates attention, focus, prayers, resources, time, and all that the church has, particularly and primarily towards Muslim evangelism. For example, every year there is a 29 or 30 days of Ramadan fasts of the Muslims, when Muslims fast and pray. There are Christians who for many years fast and pray alongside Muslims. The fast in the Christian way, though, that is, they don't wake up in the morning to eat, but they join the Muslims to fast and to pray for those 29 or 30 days. And during this period, they have only one prayer point, one prayer item. They say it in various ways, and that is, Lord, visit the Muslim community. Lord, encounter every Muslim. Pass in a mighty way among the Muslims. Save the Muslims. Liberate the Muslims. Emancipate the Muslims. Cause the Muslims' eyes to be opened to see what you have done for them on the cross of Calvary. Cause the Muslims to key into your redemption package for them. Cause the Muslims to believe in the death and resurrection of Jesus on the cross of Calvary, that the Muslims would become disciples of Jesus. And they pray and bombard the heavens with their prayers. They do that faithfully, and they are committed to it. As a result of that, Muslims are seeing visions, they are dreaming dreams, they are having revelations of Jesus, they are having trances. As a result of that, Muslims are having dramatic conversions, radical transformations, dumbfounding experiences, and wonderful. Muslims are turning to Christ en masse. Wow, that is great. Wonderful thing. Great evangelical feat. But unfortunately, among the global non-Christian and non-Muslim populace, nothing like that is going on. For example, the African traditional religions are prominently members of the global non-Christian and non-Muslim populace. I want to ask you, do you know of any local assembly, any church organization whose primary mission and vision is to reach out to the African traditional religionists? I have searched and I am yet to find one. And in case you know of any, we would like to link up with them. We will appreciate it if you can contact us so that we can link up with such groups. But meanwhile, we are yet to find any Christian group that is primarily targeting the African traditional religions. We are here in Nigeria, and Nigeria is said to be the country that has the highest number of churches in the world. In Africa here, we have hundreds of churches all over Nigeria and all over the 54 African countries. And we are yet to discover one single local assembly whose primary, note that, primary mission and vision is to target the adherents of the African traditional religions. And yet, we have 100 million adherents of African traditional religions located in 43 African countries. 100 million. Do you know that there are some countries on earth today that have a population of less than a million? So for you to have 100 million people, that would be quite a number of countries put together. Just the adherents of the African traditional religions here in Africa. Yet, we don't know of one single evangelical church that is primarily targeting them and attempting to bring them to Christ. This is the great omission of the Great Commission. Yes, it is a great omission because, I told you that the global non-Christian and non-Muslim populace are 45% of the global populace. 45% is a little less than 50%. 50% would be half of the global populace. So, which means the global non-Christians and non-Muslims are actually a little less than half of the global populace. Now, missions engagements, which omits a population that is a little less than half of the global populace, cannot be said to be a small omission. That is why an engagement that omits the global non-Christian and non-Muslim populace is the great omission of the Great Commission. I give you another example. The members of the occults or secret societies are also prominently among the global non-Christian and non-Muslim populace. Yes, Christians cannot be part of them in the sense that we cannot take their oath of allegiance, become their members, enter into covenant with them, and perform their sacrifices. We cannot do that. Light and darkness cannot go together. Light and darkness cannot coexist. They cannot co-inhabit a place. And as children of God, we must not do that. But do you know that it is the will of God for us to have relationship with them? It is the will of God for us to engage with them. It is the will of God for us to have rapport with them. It is the will of God that the church engage them with the gospel. Do you know that? Why? Because they are part of the global populace for whom Jesus died on the cross of Calvary. Jesus also died for the occult people, and he desires them to be saved. Now, I know that there are Christians who would have nothing to do with them. They don't even want to hear anything about them. Immediately they hear about them, they just pass judgment upon them. Oh, these wicked, terrible, satanic people. They are traveling on the expressway that leads to hell, that leads to destruction. They are all going to perish and go to hell. Wow. So you know that these people are going to hell. You know that if they die as occultists, as satanists, they are going to hell. You know that. Great revelation. But the big question is, what are you doing about that? What concern has that knowledge elicited from your hearts? How concerned are you that these millions of precious souls for whom Jesus died for are trooping to hell? You may ask me the question, but how can I engage them? You know, some few years ago, I had a discussion with a pastor in this country, and I asked him a question. whether he knew of any local assembly whose primary mission and vision is to reach out to the occult group. He told me he didn't know any, and then added that the fact that they are called secret societies, occult means hidden, occult societies gives another layer of inhibition to reach them. Because how can you reach out to people who are hidden? How can you engage with people who are in the secrets? How can you share the gospel with people who only operate in the dark, when they only operate in the night when normal people are sleeping? How can you engage with people who are around but you cannot see them because their activities are in the dark? How can you relate with such persons? So it is possible you are also thinking like that. How can we relate with them? That is a good question.